seems to be a good deal of discouragement about the progress. Can you give us your assessment?
No, we are putting in a major effort in Vietnam. As you know, we have about 10 or 11 times as many men there as we had a year ago. They are, we've had a number of casualties. We put in an awful lot of equipment.
Okay, so this is John Kennedy, and you're going to be the first one to exhibit this information. Okay? But Kennedy had grave doubts about fighting a land war in Southeast Asia, and he sought other means of ending U.S. involvement in the conflict. In fact, there is clear evidence that Kennedy had signed an executive order to begin withdrawing a significant number of combat troops by December 1963, but his intention was lost with him in Dallas on November 22nd of that year. What has been covered up since his death and is now becoming clearer is that he did in fact sign a presidential order that was to go into effect in December, that by the first of the year he would have withdrawn, I don't know how many thousands of these troops, but it was a fact, and they believe that that's what aided in them killing him. Now, apparently, President Diem and his brother had outlived their usefulness, and they became marked men as the CIA orchestrated a military coup, which was clearly supported by U.S. Ambassador Henry Cabot Lodge, but not completely supported by the Kennedy White House. You know, it was his brother. Diem's brother was the one. He was the like the head of the CIA, and in Vietnam, he was this man was horrible, and he had great influence on the brother. And the wife is the one that said on November 22nd, the chickens come home to roost, when Kennedy was assassinated. She's the one that said that.
What have the Buddhist leaders done comparatively? The only thing they have done, they have barbecued one of their monks, whom they have intoxicated, whom they have abused the confidence. And even that barbecuing was done not even with self-sufficient means, because they used imported gasoline.
Lodge was a leading Massachusetts Republican with White House aspirations when he lost a decisive U.S. Senate race to John Kennedy in 1952. Ted Kennedy took John Kennedy's old seat, and he ran against the same guys. That's what, right? Can we find a way of saying that? Because then in '62, he becomes ambassador to Vietnam. Against his better judgment, President Kennedy appointed Lodge U.S. ambassador to South Vietnam in 1962 in order to win nonpartisan support for his Vietnam policy, but it was a choice he would deeply regret. At a critical period during the coup, Kennedy tried to secure the Diem brothers' safe removal from Saigon, but his efforts failed to reach them in time. He suspected Lodge of disloyalty by working at cross purposes and being less than candid with the White House in failing to implement Kennedy's Vietnam policy. Kennedy allowed an election in Laos which brought a communist government to power, and that was the risk he took, and that's what he wanted to do in Vietnam. He said, we're going to go on the Laotian model, you know. Okay, that's why one of the reasons they killed him. This is fascinating. People forget